Ne vous inquiétez pas, je ne vais pas parler français pendant la présentation, mais parce que je suis ici à Paris, je voudrais dire « Allez les Bleus ». Now, in English, go Team USA tonight. Okay. As Graham mentioned, I wanted to just give you a little background about me and why I'm here. I'm very pleased to be here. I am American, as you can hear by my accent, no doubt. I've lived in London for 8 years, and during that time, I have worked with a variety of multi-channel and pure-play retailers in helping them build their e-commerce strategy, both with internationalization and with personalization, and really trying to drive sales through that online channel. It is most recently I've worked with L.K.Bennett, and it is through this work with L.K.Bennett that I've really gotten to know the Qubit team very well and worked very closely with them. And I will say I'm a very big fan of the product and the service, which I suspect is why they asked me to come today. Just for those of you who aren't familiar with L.K.Bennett, L.K.Bennett is a 30-year-old British brand. They are fashion luxury retailing, so it's apparel, accessories, and footwear. L.K.Bennett, they sell internationally, and there's also a store here in Paris on the Rue de Grenelle, so I urge you to stop by and see what's on offer. The most famous, one of the most famous clients of L.K.Bennett is the Duchess of Cambridge, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with. And she has been pictured wearing L.K.Bennett quite often, and it is always a very welcome thing when we see the Duchess wearing L.K.Bennett. It's a nice day to be in e-commerce because you really get to see the traffic and the sales that come in from that. So in my experience, both at L.K.Bennett and in working with several other retailers, I have found, and I'm sure several of you have the same experience, that everyone in the business has an opinion. So tout le monde pense mieux savoir. Everyone thinks they know the reason why someone does something online or what they're doing. And everyone says, well, we should be doing this, or we should be offering this, or we have to put the graphic over here. And the e-commerce team gets all of those opinions and has to say, hang on, we think it's this. But without that proof, without the data to really show what's happening or why it's happening, it's a very difficult conversation to have. So it was very important to bring in Qubit and get that proof, and to be able to say, we all think certain things, but here actually the numbers are showing what's going on. Now we can develop a strategy to act on what that data is showing. So it's in that environment that we have started working with Qubit, and we have undergone many tests, several of the ones Graham already explained to you. I'll take you through 3 tests, very simple tests that we've done with L.K.Bennett and the resulting uplift that we've seen. The first test is retour gratuit. So the team at Qubit helped us analyze, and they saw that the people who interacted with the returns page on the website, they viewed the returns page, had a higher propensity, were more likely to convert. So we thought, we will do a test to prove whether this is actually the case. It's one thing to think it, but it's another to prove whether it's true. And if it is true, let's do something about it. So what we did is we served a graphic on the top right of the product detail page. Every product detail page showed you that actually you could return that product. We did not change the policy. This is how L.K.Bennett has its policies. But what we saw is that we brought that information up earlier in the user journey so that the customer could see that, and that policy will help them make the decision to purchase. So we showed that, and what we found is a conversion uplift of 14%. That is pretty impressive and dramatic. But again, Americans are dramatic, so I hear. So, you know, I really, again, this is such an easy test to do. But we had the proof, And we showed that the numbers said we should be doing this. The next test is something, and this is where I think Qubit gets very, very clever and really interesting, because they allowed us to do a more nuanced test to very specific segments. This is the anticiper les abandons. We know that, I'll read to you in French, okay? Yeah. We saw on the website, and I'm sure many of you see as well, people come onto the website, they interact, and they don't purchase. And it's those people that we really want to understand what they're doing and why. So we took a segment. Qubit helped us understand that we should really hone in on specific segments, one of which is people who were engaged with the brand. Engaged meaning they came to the website, but they never purchased. So it's not just the people who don't come and don't purchase, it is, or have come once a very long time ago. These are people who know about the brand, so let's get them to buy, make that first purchase. So this segment was defined to be people who have not purchased on the website in 9 months, but have come more than 3 times. So they're coming, so why aren't they purchasing? So the test showed, as they are about, and this is again, Qubit will, based on a certain algorithm or movements of looking at different data points, they will anticipate that someone is going to be leaving, they're going to be abandoning, they'll put something in their basket, and then because they haven't acted on that page in a number of seconds, and then because the cursor is moving up to the top right to close the window, they say, hang on, we think this person's going to be abandoning their basket. Before they go, let's show them a graphic that says, we decided to say we will offer free delivery if they purchased right then and there, to get them to really, to transact at that very moment. By doing this, we were able to see an 11% increase in conversions. Again, that is at an average basket value of about 260 euros. That's a very nice return on investment for that test alone. The final case is this is very simple and very basic, but again, has very big implications. L.K.Bennett found, as I'm sure many of you see as well, that the email marketing channel is one of the most lucrative channels to market to. So the biggest goal, it's the highest converting channel. The biggest goal is to get as many email names on their database as possible. And we ran a test that said, so the website itself has an email sign up on the homepage and throughout the site, and it does okay. And I've seen this in other businesses as well. It does all right, but we wanted something to really turbocharge the data collection effort. So with Qubit's help, we, again, looked at a specific segment. So these were people we know who, if you look at this segment, new visitors who were on the page for a period of 7 seconds. So it wasn't people who came. We were very conscious of not annoying people who came to the website and serving the graphic in a way that was really, it was part of the user journey and part of the way we wanted as a brand to communicate. So after 7 seconds, we showed it, or someone who'd been to the website more than once and we hadn't collected their email address. So the graphic, we simply served a graphic that asked for the email address before they moved on. And we did this for the UK, and we have a US website. We did it on the US as well. We were able to collect 38% more emails. And that's a fantastic result. It's very expensive to get those email names through other marketing channels. So to do it this way was really, we were very pleased with this. In the US, we saw an increase of 32%. So there are several ways to get the most out of working with Qubit. And that is, so I ran a team, and we had one person managing the relationship, and we had 2 other people, someone who managed all of the content on the website, and then someone who managed our email database marketing. And they were responsible as well for collecting and making sure all of the tests happened. The important thing to know is that this is a very powerful tool, and you need to keep developing these tests. There are lots of things to test. And Qubit has done a very good job of looking at the data. They looked at our data specifically and said, we're noticing this, this, and this. We think you should be testing this, this, and this, together with our own team, and going back to the business, to all of those people who think that they know everything. They can give their own ideas and say, what should we be testing? And you fill the pipeline, and you test on different market segments, and you keep that going. And what you will see at the end of a very short period of time is some really significant uplifts. I will also say it's important to know, it's important to test what doesn't work. So the email data collection graphic I showed you, we tested 2 versions of this. One is the one you see here, which is a basic sign up, and another that offered 10% discount on your first order. And we thought, for sure, I certainly thought that the 10% discount would get more signups than the one that you see here that is a basic offer. And in fact, we saw with the L.K.Bennett audience, it didn't. The 10% offer did not attract more. And without testing, I really would not have suspected that, and I'm really glad that we did test it, because by knowing that we could roll out with this graphic, we saved ourselves 10% on those purchases, on those first purchases. We didn't give away margin where we didn't have to. So doing that test and seeing that it didn't work was absolutely as valid as all of those other tests that show what does work. And that's an important thing to put into the mix as well. So you just have to fill the pipeline, keep it going, keep thinking about all of the different user journeys you have on the site, the different market segments, and test, 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 and you will be very pleased with the results. Merci.